The Lost chapter was opened a few days after the release of version 3.0, which introduced a lot of new things, including the fourth difficulty, Beyond. The player base was first introduced to Beyond through Tempestissimo, and with the Lost chapter, 4 more Beyond charts were released for 4 existing songs. As of the current version, there are 13 Beyond charts obtainable in the chapter. To access this chapter, you need to have a potential of 9 and above. Now this chapter works differently from other chapters of World Mode. First off, you need 3 stamina per play. Each path leading to a Beyond chart is assigned different percentages that are called health. As a result, the progression in this chapter involves draining the health for each map as you get closer to the chart you want to unlock. You traverse through each map, where you can get rewards like fragments or ether drops, or encounter checkpoints in the form of restriction, random, or fixed speed, just like in normal world mode. You can also land in points that give you stamina, but they are well hidden in here, so if you stop on those areas, then good for you. There are also slight differences in gameplay. The backgrounds for every song change when you play them in the Beyond chapter, like this one for light songs and this one for conflict songs. The Beyond challenge is also applied as you play, where far notes affect the decrease in recollection rate. Any partner you use is affected with this challenge, except for 3, which we'll look into later. As I said earlier, you get a percentage after every play to determine how much you get to traverse through the map. The performance percentage is determined by using this formula. The play rating is a sum of the chart constant and the score modifier based on your score. Clear factor depends on whether you cleared the chart or not. Lastly, the map factor depends on the Beyond map you're currently in. This info is available in the Arcaea wiki. This performance percentage is then multiplied by the chosen partner's multiplier based on the overstat, the chosen partner's affinity, and the frag boost multiplier used. The overstat is a stat that's used specifically in the Beyond chapter. Instead of the step stat, this multiplier is applied for progression. Fragment boosts are available in 1.1, 1.25, and 1.5 multipliers, which costs 100, 200, and 500 fragments, respectively. This can be activated outside of the song selection menu, just like memory boosts in regular world mode. These are optional, of course, but if you plan to frag boost all the way, make sure to save out a lot of fragments beforehand. I swear, you're gonna need it. Affinities are assigned to certain partners in different Beyond maps. Using these affinity partners guarantee extra percentage, which gives more boost in traversing boundaries. Now, earlier in this video, I said that there are 3 partners that are not affected with the Beyond challenge. These are Dorothy, Tempestairitsu, and Pandora Nemesis. This is because their gauges work differently. Dorothy's recollection gauge is a gauge that determines the highest score grade you can get depending on your current performance. There's no point in implementing the Beyond challenge with that gauge because it already takes into account the fars you get, even outside world mode. Tempestairitsu's gauge is a bleeding gauge that bleeds out whenever you get a loss. If this gauge had the Beyond challenge, that would mean that fars would add to the bleeding of the gauge, which makes passing charts harder. Lastly, Pandora's gauge starts with 20 instead of 100, and it goes down for every loss you get. In an older version of Arcaea, her gauge would take 1 loss for every 2 fars under this challenge, but that's already fixed. With all that, using these partners would yield a significantly lower result percentage compared to the rest of the partners, because basically, there's no added challenge at all if you use them. Due to this, the clear factor applied for these partners is the same as getting a track loss with any other partner, no matter if you clear the chart you're playing or not. This is the reason why playing with Dorothy in the Beyond chapter yields a lower result even with an affinity. Players noticed this and thought that it's a bug, but let me tell you, it's not a bug. It's just as intended. But we have one more question to answer. Which partner is better to use in the Beyond chapter? Someone with an affinity or someone with a high overstat? The answer is it depends. Generally though, the affinity partners tend to generate higher end results due to their affinities. But if you don't have any partners with affinity on a certain beyond map, you can use partners with high overstat, like Default Tairitsu, Nier, Saya, Axiom Tairitsu, or Sile. And I guess that's everything you need to know. Feel free to ask questions and express your thoughts. I hope that you have a wonderful journey with us. Have a nice trip, and see you on the other side. And that's it for Bagel, 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 Bagel. Thanks for sticking around, and have a great day.